Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Today we are here with more F1 2014 career mode here in Malaysia for the second round of the season. I must say a massive thank you to you guys for the support on episode 1. It's nearly up to 1,000 likes, which is absolutely insane. And let's try and do something with this video as well. Let's try and get 500 likes by tonight. I know that's an insane sort of figure to look at, but if we can do that, that'd be absolutely awesome. And also, I've got a question for you guys to leave in the comment section down below. What is your favourite track on the F1 calendar currently? Is it this track, Malaysia, somewhere like Bahrain, Silverstone? Let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm very interested to know what you think. Anyway, let's get on to this qualifying lap. This is qualifying 1, we're in on McLaren, obviously. One update actually on the Williams. We've got a Williams skin, so the Williams actually looks like it does in real life now. It's got all the Martini sponsorship all over it, so that's good. Brings a little bit of extra realism to the liveries and everything in the game, so that's good. Hopefully we'll see a McLaren one coming out at some point, which makes it a bit more updated, so we get the one that sort of they're using in real life now, not the one that we're using in pre-season testing. I'm not going to lie guys, I was having quite a hard time getting this car around this track. I don't know, the McLaren just doesn't seem to have the downforce around this track, and obviously there's quite a lot of sort of corners on this track where you need that downforce, and the McLaren, I don't know why, but it just didn't really have the downforce. And we are using the standard setup, and now that everyone has the game, I'm going to be looking around for setups on YouTube, trying to find the best setup I possibly can for China. So I'm going to really try and make sure that I've got sort of a little bit of extra speed in the car for China. But here in Malaysia, we're using a standard setup here. And this corner here, I don't know what turn it is or anything, but I couldn't get it right, or I couldn't get it the same every single lap. One lap I went in tight, one lap I went out wide, and I just couldn't get it consistent with the times. And currently we're 22nd on the grid. We've already got a time of 1:48, which is about 6 seconds off time getting through. But we're going to put in a decent lap time here. We're going to get the DRS as well, shifting up through the gears as quickly as possible to get to that start finish line. Oh, it's very close there actually, just getting into qualifying 2 there by what, 3/10 of a second, and knocking out Esteban Gutierrez and Maldonado in Q1. Anyway, let's move on to Q2, and we've got 30 seconds left on the clock, and we're in 16th place. We've got an alright lap time there of a 1:42.3. It puts us last, but we're going to do another lap time there of 1:47.8. I think we actually spun or went off the track on this lap, so that's a bit unfortunate. But this is our fastest lap in Q2. We're on lap number 3 of our stint. I think I was predicted to do 4 laps, but I made mistakes on both of my previous 2 laps, so that meant I could only do 3 laps, not 4 laps, so that could have definitely cost me time. But let's see what we do in the first sector here in Malaysia. Not exactly the best track for the McLaren, but we're 7/10 or 700ths I should say of getting through. That's Bottas's time of a 25.7 through Sector 1. So we're pretty much matching that through Sector 1. So let's see what we can do through this middle and final sector. This middle sector wasn't too bad, I'll tell you that. We can definitely see we're closing in on the Sauber of Sutil in front of us, who's currently in 14th place. But there, we make a slight mistake, get a bit of grass on our tyres, which won't help us into the next turn here, where it's a very hard braking zone here, and then you've got to shift down the gears and then shift up the gears as quickly as possible as when you go up the hill, because the wheels are just spinning up under that traction zone there, so it's really hard to just get the power down. 8/10 down on Bottas's time through there, so it's looking unlikely we're going to get through to session 3, to whatever, qualifying 3, that's what I'm trying to say, which is unfortunate because I think our car is probably just about in there, but you know, in the qualifying 3 zone, but I'm just not driving well enough at the moment. I've definitely got to get used to the game more, and obviously I haven't driven all the tracks yet. I've only driven about 5 or 6 tracks, so getting to know some of these tracks like Malaysia and China and obviously Australia as well, it's going to be, you know, hard to get used to them, but once I do, it should be quite a lot of fun, and especially with the setups and it's just everything, it should come together to make the career mode better. But anyway, across the start finish line there, we finish in 14th place in qualifying, which is unfortunate, but it does mean that we can start on whatever tyres we want, which we decided to do. We were supposed to start on the medium tyres, but we actually go to the hard tyres, which are the prime tyres. I'm just going to refer to them what they're actually called. So these are the hard tyres, the orange sidewall ones are the hard tyres. So these are the ones we're going to be starting with. I think pretty much everyone else will be starting on the medium tyres. So let's just see how we do here. It's going to be pretty hard for this first stint, which is not going to have the grip, and overall it's going to be pretty hard to keep my car in front of a lot of these cars, which are a lot faster than me, especially especially those pesky Mercedes, which is just so much faster than everyone else. But there we are, we're in 14th, Button up in 6th place, which is kind of embarrassing, but we've got to put on a good race here for McLaren, hopefully get us a couple of points. Who knows what we can do at the end of this race, but if we can have a good first lap, put us into the points and maybe just hold some cars back. But a really bad start there actually, partly down to the amount of wheel spin we have, and also we're on the harder tyres, which means that we just don't have as much grip going onto the surface. So down into turn 1, we're not going to be too risky here, but we're trying to just get our car through a couple of positions here. Perez, not really sure what he's doing, but we managed to get through a couple of people here. Got Verntor outside, Massa to our inside, even Kimi Raikkonen, which is his birthday today, so happy birthday Raikkonen. But overall, we're going to get past Massa here, maybe, I'm not too sure. It's side-by-side stuff, and we're obviously on the harder tyres here, so if we can get this position, that'd be great. But Alonso, very slow, having to dive down the inside of him and past him as well. Hulkenberg, very slow off the corner. We're racing him side-by-side. Can we get around the outside of him? That's going to be very risky, but we're not going to be able to manage to get that done. So we're slotting in behind Nico Hulkenberg there in a P7, so that's good. We've got Kimi Raikkonen right up behind us. He's going down the inside. It's side-by-side. Raikkonen looking to the inside. He hasn't managed to keep it, however, and he's back down to 8th position there. So keeping our car in 7th place would be great for this race. If we can do it, that'd be awesome. Especially if we can go onto the softer tyres at the end of the race. It will mean that we've got the pace, and hopefully we could even get up to the back of some of these cars. But it's going to be obvious, guys. We're going to be losing times to the like of Hulkenberg, Button, and all the cars in front, just because they've got the faster tyres on, and generally they're faster in the first place. So it's going to be hard this first stint, but we hopefully can fight back in that second stint. So skipping ahead to lap number 4, and you can see that we have still maintained 7th place here, but Button has been overtaken by Hulkenberg, and the other Force India Perez is now right up behind us, 7/10 of a second. He'll get the DRS this time round as well, obviously, and this should be a good opportunity for him and the other cars behind him to get past. But we're going to make it even easier for him by locking up our front right here and going very wide into the turn, just exactly what Perez did in 2012, if you remember, but he went even further off the track. But we don't have DRS, he does. We're just going to have to use his slipstream to the best effect here and hopefully get down the inside of him into the turn. Alonso around the outside. We're going to brake incredibly late here, down the inside of Perez and Alonso, and we managed to get up into P7 once again. But all of this squabbling is definitely helping Button to get away in front. And as we skip ahead to lap number 7 here, you can see a couple of cars are pitted on lap 6. We're going to be coming in for our pit stop here. We do 7 laps on the medium compound tyre to finish off the race, and just hopefully they will last. And both Perez and Alonso trying to get down the inside of me there, but I managed to sort of block them off there as we come into the pit lane by braking even later. And obviously see some cars going past on the left hand side here. Put it into that lean fuel mixture just to save every little bit of fuel will help us towards the end of the race here. And obviously Perez, even though he'd lost a bit of time by braking early, he's still right up behind me here. So we come into our McLaren pit bay here. We're going to be getting those softer tyres on, which will be the medium tyres. Really confusing. I don't know how I'm going to say this throughout the whole of the career mode, but I'm going to hopefully be able to say it all right for you guys. So the softer tyres, which are the medium tyres, go onto my McLaren. And let's see how we go coming out the pit lane here. We've got a car coming to our outside. Who is it? That is Alonso. I could be wrong. Yes, it is Fernando Alonso going round our outside there, and Massa's right up behind us here. But we got fast fuel mixture and we got the better tyres. So can we get onto the back of Alonso here and possibly snatch back that position? We got, I think, Bianchi in front, who hasn't actually pitted, so Bianchi's currently in 7th. So if we overtake Alonso here, we'll be 7th after everyone's pitted. A little bit of a lock up there. And something I've got to say I've been struggling with in this game is getting the tyre temperature up. So definitely putting the cold tyres on, obviously at the pit stop. It's really hard for me to get that tyre temperature up, and I don't know why, I just can't get that tyre temperature up. Whether it's something to do with me using a wheel this time and obviously it being a little bit smoother with the turn and everything, maybe not getting that temperature up, I'm not too sure, but I'm really struggling to get the tyre temperature up throughout these races, and that's definitely compromising me because obviously when the tyres are cold, they're not performing at their best. So that's not really what I want to be doing. I definitely need to find out what's happening. Maybe it's something to do with the setup. I'm not too sure. I'll have to try and look into it. But Alonso sort of got away from us a little bit here. We've got the sort of gap down to about 0.6 of a second here. But we're going to get DRS. I'm not too sure. It's very unlikely, actually. We seem to have dropped back through those last couple of corners. Here's the DRS activation point any second now. Have we got it? Yes, we do, but we're way too far behind Alonso here to have any sort of a threat down into this final turn. And just hopefully we can get it into the next DRS zone, which is here. The DRS detection point is through this corner here, and then the activation point is right after it. Do we get it? No, we don't. That's a bit unfortunate. But Bianchi comes into the pit, so he will go down a couple of positions, and we're back up into P8. So you can see here, going ahead to lap 10, not really much has changed except from Raikkonen has got in front, I think, of Massa behind us, and overall we're sort of that same sort of gap from Alonso, sort of a bit less than a second. We've sort of been ebbing and flowing over the last couple of laps, and really not much has happened. We're just sort of staying, you know, stalemate, if you will, over the last couple of laps. But we should have DRS here going through here. Don't want to make a mistake what we did earlier and run wide, so we just keep it calm through there, try and keep it to the racing line, get the power off the corner, and we do get the DRS there, so that's good. But once again, we're not close enough to get the move done, and obviously if we dived from this distance it'd just be a massive crash, so we don't want to be doing that. And now looking up our brakes into the final turn, I think we're actually going to, yeah, we do get a DRS this time, so that's good. We should be a lot closer this time to Fernando Alonso. What's the gap? It's just under a second, so it's definitely that last sort of part of the track where we do lose time. But, you know, the DRS has been saving us over the last couple of laps, and now we finally get DRS down the main straight as well. So we're definitely a lot closer to Alonso. Sector 1 and the first part of Sector 2 are the two parts of the track where I am a lot faster than Alonso. So let's see the gap through this first sector here. We've got a bit of fast fuel mixture as well, so that's what we're going to be using. What's the gap through the first sector? Well, we've gone purple in Sector 1, and the gap's down to 0.6 of a second, closer than we've ever been through Sector 1. So let's see what we can do through here. The quick left, right, and as I said, well, we need that downforce, and we make the slight mistake. We go onto the marbles, and we're all over the place, and unfortunately we lose Alonso, and the tyres go off towards the end of the race. You can see the gap to Alonso by lap 14, the gap over 7 seconds now to Alonso, and you've got Raikkonen right behind us. So is he going to be making a move into this final turn of the race? We'll make a slight mistake there, slightly offline, and obviously Raikkonen will have that DRS, and he's looking to the outside here. He's got a decent engine in that Ferrari as well. It's not the best, but it's still decent, especially with DRS activated as well. He's got past us around the outside. We're going to go a little bit faster into this final turn and sort of edge Raikkonen out, which is exactly what we've done. We've got the DRS as well, just to make sure that we can get in that final position, and there we are. We managed to get 8th place. A really up and down race there, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. My teammate Button ends up in 6th place, so some good points there for McLaren Mercedes, and that's a good place. I think that's 2 8th places in a row, so very consistent. 2 8th places in a row for us, but that's only 8 points for us, and unfortunately I think Button will go ahead of us in the championship, with Alonso actually getting 6 points as well. So Hamilton wins from Rosberg. Rosberg will be leading the championship after he won Australia. Are we going to get a result like real life? Is obviously Hamilton going to come back in these next races? I'm not too sure. Anyway, Rosberg leads over Hamilton, Ricardo, Vettel, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Button, Massa, Raikkonen, and myself. So overall, guys, a really good race there. I enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll have even more fun in China tomorrow. So be sure to leave your like on the video, guys. Let's try and get 500 by tonight, and also leave your comment down below about what your favourite track on the F1 calendar is. But thanks for watching, guys. Once again, it's been Alex, and I'm out of here. Goodbye.